What's up, family? Trail here, and we have some major unexpected news to talk about today. Congress is on the verge of cutting Social Security, taking money away from our most vulnerable Americans. This is not cool at all. Yes, right now, as Congress continues to debate whether or not to increase the debt ceiling, they are proposing to cut Social Security benefits as well as Medicare in the process. Now, in addition to that, while Social Security is being cut, the IRS just warned us that our tax refunds for 2022 will probably be much less than expected. I've got the details to share with you today. But before we go any further, you already know what to do. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Starting off with some very unexpected news. The U.S., the economy, is actually improving. Yes, according to this article, the U.S. GDP rose by 2.9% in the fourth quarter, more than expected, even as recession fears continue to loom. Yes, guys, the gross domestic product rose about 2.9% annualized pace in the fourth quarter, slightly better than expected. Consumer spending weakened from the previous period, but still remained very positive, which is why inflation will not come down. But anyways, guys, also jobless claims fell last week while durable goods orders increased sharply in the month of December, but mainly due to the demand for aircraft. So yes, guys, they are saying that the U.S. economy actually improved over the last quarter, which, guys, that ended in December, which the recession sort of started around the November timeframe, which we are still entering into it as of right now. But how will the first quarter of this year be, guys? We definitely don't expect to see any type of reports like this, guys. Things are still getting worse. People are losing their jobs. People are not having enough money to put food on their tables. People are having to sell their homes because they just can't afford it anymore. And guys, things are getting much worse than expected. However, looking at this particular article, you would think the total opposite. But anyways, guys, like I said, the recession is coming and we're in it right now, which we'll probably see this throughout the middle of this year, closer to the summer time frame. So you definitely want to be preparing for what's ahead, guys. But anyways, guys, moving forward, I told you guys the other day that in regard to this whole entire issue in regards to the classified documents by the current President Biden, the former President Donald Trump, as well as the former Vice President Mike Pence. I told you guys they are probably going to come after the former President Barack Obama. And now you are seeing a message coming directly from the National Archives in which they are now asking all former presidents and vice presidents to check your documents, your information that you took from the White House when you left. Check it for any type of classified and presidential documents. Yes, guys, the National Archives is warning those individuals before documents show up in the news, in which they are saying that go ahead and look at them right now so that you can self-report those particular documents. And yes, they are asking all former presidents as well as vice presidents. So this might actually go towards the former president, Bill Clinton. Yes, guys. But anyways, guys, that is all we have to talk about on that particular topic. So moving on, we did hear a warning message coming directly from the IRS, which we know that we are currently in tax season, and a lot of people have already been filing their taxes, and things are about to get worse, even worse, guys. I told you that we are entering into this recession, and the IRS just told us that your tax refunds for 2022 might actually be lower than expected. Yes, guys, according to this article, it says that tax refunds may actually shrink this year. Many Americans will be getting a smaller tax refund this year without the padding of a few crucial pandemic era tax breaks, according to the IRS. And yes, many people depend on their tax refunds to make ends meet, pay down debt, or even fund extra things like taking a vacation. And checks are shrinking at a time when rising prices because of the inflation are already making it even harder to pay for your normal necessities or your bills. So again, guys, you definitely want to be mindful of this because they are saying that the average tax refund in 2022 was $3,039, which was a 7.5% increase from the previous year. But now that things are headed back down to earth as the pandemic era policies actually expire, you definitely want to be mindful of that, guys, because you're probably going to be receiving a little bit of less money this time around than what we have seen in the past 2 to 3 years. But anyways, guys, moving on, we do need to talk about our most vulnerable Americans in this country, and that is our Social Security recipients. They are struggling right now because of the inflation. Even though they just received an 8.7% increase in the cost of living adjustment, it's still not enough money to keep their lights on, to keep their bills paid, to keep electricity going on, as well as to keep food on the table. But even though all those things are going on right now, and it does affect our Social Security recipients because they are on a fixed income, it doesn't matter to Congress because they are still trying to cut Social Security benefits. Yes, guys, as you can see right here in this particular article, senators right now are eyeing Social Security reform as some people in the House, such as the GOP, are considering major cuts to the program. And that's not all, guys. Major cuts to Medicare as well. It says right here that some senators are eyeing a divided Congress as an opportunity to tackle reforms to Social Security as the program continues to face insolvency issues in a little more than a decade. Yes, changes to Social Security are a perpetually heavy lift for Congress right now, but they've gained traction as some House Republicans float the idea of making cuts to it as part of the debt ceiling negotiations. Like I told you guys earlier in the video, right now Congress is working towards negotiating on the debt ceiling increase that is hovering over us right now because 6 million people in this country are facing major issues if the government does fail to increase the debt ceiling, and they will not be able to pay all of their debts, guys. 6 million people could be affected by this. But in regards to raising the debt ceiling, because right now we are watching this over the President Biden's watch in the White House, and Republicans are not having it, guys. They want to cut spending all around. They want President Biden to stop spending money in regards to the Ukraine, helping them out with the war, as well as stop spending money on the American people. Stop giving these stimulus checks, which we pretty much haven't had a stimulus check in over 365 days or so, guys. But anyways, the Republicans want to stop the spending, in which this is part of the negotiation in the debt ceiling increase, in which they are throwing Social Security reform into the table. And that is why they are trying to say that we need to cut funding for the Social Security program. And not only that, guys, they are also calling for cuts to the Medicare program as well. Yes, guys, if you are a Republican, you definitely want to be mindful of this because these are individuals that you actually voted for. So you definitely want to be mindful of that, especially if you are a Social Security recipient. But anyways, guys, like I said, a wise senator said that whenever you see reform shore up those kinds of programs, it usually takes a divided Congress, according to Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska. So maybe that historically bodes well with something that would make sure that Americans have a secure retirement system on hand, and Senator Republicans are generally leaving debt ceiling negotiations to the GOP-controlled House. But separately, there have been some growing chatter by both parties in the upper chamber about potential ways to help protect Social Security, which some estimates say that it is on track to becoming insolvent in about 12 years or so. But anyways, guys, like I said, Republicans are trying to put this into the negotiations to cut funding for the Social Security recipients, which means that this could cut the benefits that they are already receiving right now. It could cut that back down once again, even though we just saw an increase, an 8.7% increase for the cost of living adjustment for our Social Security recipients. The GOP-controlled House, they are calling to reduce that back down again. So again, guys, like I said, in regards to the Social Security reform, these Republicans are vicious right now, guys. They are trying to cut these entitlement programs, and they want to end them very quickly. And this is not something new, guys. They have been trying to cut these entitlement programs for years and years and years, and every chance they get, such as right now, trying to increase the debt ceiling so that the government won't default on its responsibilities, they are putting this into the mix once again. But this might not necessarily go through because we do know the Senate is controlled by the Democrats, in which they probably won't necessarily let that happen. But anyways, I just wanted to let you know, guys, what is on the table right now, what is going on during the negotiations in regards to the debt ceiling increase and our Social Security recipients, because this is some major news, guys. You definitely need to be mindful of this, and you need to follow along with this to know exactly whether or not and what exactly they are doing behind closed doors. And now the Democrats have responded in regards to President Biden and the Biden administration. We did receive a message from the White House, and they are warning the GOP, do not tie debt ceiling increase to Social Security cuts. It is not the thing to do. It is not the time to do it. Now, they're saying right here that in exchange for not crashing the United States economy, you get nothing. One Democratic said, you don't get a cookie. Yes, guys, that is exactly what the Republicans are trying to do right now. They are trying to crash the United States economy by preventing a debt ceiling increase in order for the government to continue to operate as usual. Again, guys, like I said, I just want to make you mindful of this because this is definitely important, because our future is on the line right now, guys, and they only have a certain amount of time to get this thing done. And again, we see right here that we just heard from the new representative for the House Speaker, which is Kevin McCarthy. He is saying that, look, Republicans' plans to slash Social Security and Medicare are becoming much clearer. We have no choice but to make these hard decisions. So yes, guys, like I said, this is some major news that we need to discuss, and we have pretty much told you everything right now. And like it says right here, guys, that they are becoming more explicit about those cuts involving Medicare and Social Security funds. It is definitely not the thing to do right now, according to the White House. However, Republicans are making it at a top priority. They know that they can get a huge amount of leverage if they continue to fight for Social Security cuts as well as Medicare cuts, because the Democrats are going to do whatever they can to make sure that this does not happen. They do not want any changes to Social Security or Medicare. So yes, guys, this is the battle that we have on Capitol Hill right now, and Congress is battling it left and right, and hopefully they will not succeed with the cutting of Social Security benefits. And then on the flip side, guys, we do need to talk about a new fund that they are also talking on the outside of Congress right now. It says right here that the smart bipartisan plan to shore up Social Security, this is in reference to the insolvency issues that are approaching very soon, within around a decade or so. Right now, Social Security is becoming insolvent by the year of 2035. However, a new study just came out in regards to the inflation increase in this country, as well as the amount of goods and services as well. That is pretty much costing Social Security insolvency to actually change by 2 years. So now they are projecting it to be around the year of 2033. Yes, guys, from 2035 to now 2033, this Social Security benefits is shrinking by the day. But anyways, guys, like I said, they are trying to come up with this new fund that they are trying to introduce. And this particular fund is called the American Social Wealth Fund, in which this particular fund is going to change the way that Social Security benefits are actually allocated. And they are saying that this could actually improve Social Security benefits to last much longer than the current program that is in place right now. So again, guys, I'm sure we'll hear more on the details of this particular new wealth fund that is allocated for our Social Security recipients. We should hear more information about this very soon. And once I hear this information, guys, I will relay it back to you. But you got to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you can find out all the updates right here on Budget Bill's channel. But anyways, guys, hey, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. But if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.